Hello everybody, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is Sunday, the first Sunday in May. I believe that makes it the 7th. I think it's the 7th. We're gonna go with that. I can't really see the calendar too well from here. How was everybody's week? This is good coffee. Good. I'm glad everyone had a great week. I hope everyone is off to a rousing start with Mania. I know I am. And we've got lots to go over. Alright, so, not a lot in the Q&A. There is going to be another soapbox moment, but I'm going to hold it for the end. That way those of you who... Actually, no, because then that kind of defeats the point of it being a soapbox moment. So we're going to do a little bit of a soapbox moment, and then we're going to go into Mania and Q&A and all that good stuff. So my little bit of soapbox is that, and I've seen this posted in several places, but there was one specific one that kind of tipped this off for me. And that's the use of people telling people who say they don't really post much on their personal Facebook of their stitching, or, you know, they don't really know other stitchers, and saying, oh, well, you just need to come out of the stitching closet. And there are any number of reasons, and I don't think any of the reasons for people not posting it on their personal Facebook page or accepting stitchy friends is because they're embarrassed by it. That's not it at all. And to compare that decision to the decision to come out of the closet when you're LGBTQ bothers me a lot. Because I think it overlooks a lot of the impact of what coming out of the closet really is. And that's not okay. So if we can try to find better ways of putting it than coming out of the stitchy or the crafty closet, per se, then we really, really should. Because I think it minimizes and trivializes coming out of the closet for an LGBTQ person. So, there you go. Soapbox over with. Anyhow, moving on to the Q&A. Alright, Morgan Hope asks if there's an online community everyone belongs to. Not everyone belongs to it, but the group that Katie the Stash Queen and I admin, Stitch Mania, and that's Mania spelled Maynia, is, I think, the third biggest, maybe second biggest. I don't remember if we were counting Stash Unload when we did that, when we did our count. But we're over 10,000 people, so it's a crap ton of stitchers. And everyone is welcome to join. Myra Lewis says that she's stitching pine trees and want them to look like they have snow on them. Can I go over a cross stitch that is completed with highlights or another recommended thread? Two parts to this. My first question would be, is the area you're going over already white? If it is, then I would suggest going over the top stitch with either a blending filament or one strand of, for going over something already completed. I personally prefer Petite Treasure Braid for that. If you're going to go over, if you're doing it just from scratch, then I would do Kreinik. But if you're already going over, like, say, a DMC that already exists, do a blending filament or a Petite Treasure Braid. If not, then yes, you can definitely go, if it's not already white, if it's green, yes, you could certainly go over it with the highlights. I would say that you probably it would depend a little on your fabric count. I know I've gone over stitches that I've already stitched because I've realized I've done them wrong. And that works pretty well. 36-40 count, it's going to be a little bit trickier because your holes are much smaller. But on 28-32 or Ada, you should be good to go on that. Carrie Pickering asks, where is my Gilmore Girls needle minder from? It came from Minding My Minders, which is no longer in business. I don't know if someone else out there is doing Gilmore Girls minders, but that's where mine came from. And you're welcome, Alex Ortiz. I'm glad you purchased LHN's library. And Michelle Garrett, that's hilarious that you were working on Burnt Orange while I was pulling it out. I love little synchronous moments like that. That's fun. As I give you crazy eyes. Alright. Oh, one more thing before I go into whips. I will be doing the Stitchy Box Sarah Cromwell pattern. Let's see. Oh. No, excuse me. Sarah Davis Clonmel, 1824. We are doing an official stitch-along with Stitchy Box in Mania. There's the pattern. And I'm sorry that I can't get you a better one since it's a digital copy. But it's a reproduction. And Liz, Katie, and I were all in discussion when she was getting ready. I was like, I never really want to do one of these because the colors are just so dull. And so Liz was like, well, why not do it with ridiculous colors? And I went, challenge accepted. So I'm going to do Sarah Cromwell. I keep calling it Sarah Cromwell. It's not. It's Sarah Davis, but whatever. I will be doing it on this beautiful purple linen. It's Misty Morning, 32 count from Under the Sea. I have not picked my flosses yet. I got a Color and Cotton gift card for my birthday, so I think I'm going to use that. But because I'm doing all of this completely non-prim and completely ridiculous, I decided to use my Michael Myers from Halloween minder. Because why the hell not? So this is going to be... I'm going to have a lot of fun with this one. So it's my decidedly not primitive. I'm not even sure that's really the right term for this sort of pattern, but it's primitive style colors, which I don't normally dislike. I do like a lot of primitive colors, it's just I don't really like the vintage samplers like that. So, alright, so continuing right along, we did our first 3 Mania starts, and I made good progress on 2 of the 3. Let's see, where are they? Okay. So I started this week doing Summer Sweetness by Tempting Tangles, and I actually started a couple hours early because, what was I working on before that? Was it Welcome that I worked on? It was. Oh, well, first let me back up. I did another part of Welcome, Sal, which was the last time I'll be touching it until after Mania. So that's where I am on Welcome, Sal. Ta-da! And then I was doing some more Mania stuff, and it was like 8 o'clock, and I was like, I don't really have anything I want to pull out and work on. So, versus just randomly pulling something to work on for 2 hours before bed, I just decided I'd go ahead and get started on Summer Sweetness. And I had forgotten that I was using the Kermit the Frog needle minder originally, so there's actually 2 needle minders on this one. But I started it. I did my own conversion to Gentle Arts, and I actually managed to get a page finish. Ta-da! I did not do, there's backstitch that's going to go into the orange slices and here, but since I'm using variegated threads, I really didn't want to do that until I could do them all at once. So, that's where I got to. And for those wondering, I won't tell you which colors are what. Some of them you'll guess. But I'm using Harvest Basket, Old Hickory, currently Antique Lace, although it did not show up in this section, and looking at it, it probably will change. Baby Spinach, Cherry Wine, Harvest Moon, Apple Cider, Espresso Bean, which also did not show up in this section, and Spring Grass. So, and I absolutely loved stitching this one. This one's been a lot of fun. I was a little concerned about the colors of the tea that I chose, but I think they're actually looking really good. So, here we go. There's Summer Sweetness. Definitely will be picking this one back up after I get a couple other finishes. So, it's one I'm definitely pulling back out, because I'm absolutely loving it. Alright, so I worked on that, and then I worked on Gingerbread House by Nancy Spruance. I didn't get as much... I got what I wanted to done, but I didn't have as much progress. So here's the finished one. I'm doing this on 32 count Morris Blue linen from Weeks Dye Works, and that's where I got. So, partially I didn't realize I didn't have one of the colors I needed to continue on, because I was just trying to pull what I could to start it, because it was my only all DMC. Partially I wasn't feeling very great Thursday night, so I didn't really work too hard, and, I had another thing that I was doing for the next part, so I had to do a little bit of work. So then, my next start was Cinderella by Classic Colorworks / Little House Needleworks. So here is the original. And I'm doing mine on a Lugana. It's 32 count April Shower from, Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I got a lot done. That's where I stopped. The only color that's the actual called for color is this up here, the Happily Ever After, and part of the wheels and the little bits right in here. Those are Chocolate Cream Pie from Classic Colorworks. Everything else is a complete and total conversion. I added little veins to the pumpkin. That's with Pearl. That's with Wildflowers from Karen Collection. I put Krynick into Cinderella's dress. I gave them crowns. I'm subbing out colors. And because I did silver and gold, because I'm kind of going into the woodsy here. And I know, I want to say it's the Perot version, doesn't feature the pumpkin carriage, but that was already there, and honestly, I like the pumpkin carriage, so even if she is going to the festival 3 nights, there's no reason she can't have a pumpkin carriage, too. Yes, there is, because her mother's grave, which is what I added there below the hazel tree, or what will be the hazel tree. She's the one who gives her the dress, so there is no pumpkin carriage. But I like the pumpkin carriage, and it was already there, so there you go. So, and I'm thoroughly enjoying my conversion. I, truth be told, think it's a lot better than the original. But I also know that it was designed specifically to be done with all the Classic Colorworks, and I want to say this is right after because I think it's Little House Needleworks that owns Classic Colorworks. I think this was done right after they bought the company. So they were trying, I think, to go, well, here, we've got these designs, use these, la 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 la. So, my next one, the next Mania start, is Sing a Sampler. I'm going to be starting with Fa, and it's going to be awesome. I did a little, tweak to the pattern that looks really, really cool, if I do say so myself, so I can't wait to show it off when it's done. So that's today and tomorrow. Then on Tuesday, I will be starting 13 Colonies by Little House Needleworks, which is this one. And then after 13 Colonies will be, so that's Tuesday. Thursday, I will be starting Vintage Birds by Jeanette Douglas. And I have to figure out, because the center of the chart actually is the, supposed to be over 1 initials, but since I have 3, I need to figure out how to chart that. Because I'm not entirely sure. That's the one problem when it's like, here, chart your initials into it over 1. Oh. So, I'll figure it out, though. I will makes it work. And then on Saturday, we'll start Let Freedom Ring, which I'm super excited to start. So, and I think the dead center is actually the roof, which explains why Vanna started with the roof. So, I will be roofing it up. Unfortunately, it's DMC, so I don't have to complete... That part is DMC, so I don't have to just complete each cross as I go, which always makes things move a little faster. Alright, so that's the Mania plans for this week, the ones for last week, and then we'll finish up with Fairy Tale on the 15th. And again, I'm working on these for 2 days. And then after Mania, I get to dive straight into the next Pumpkin Passport. As well as I get to dive into Night Before Christmas. And those are my 2 things that have to get done this month. Beyond that, it'll be just sort of whatever I manage to get to, and then we'll start up the goals again in June. So, anyhow, I hope everyone had a really great week. I hope everyone has a great week coming up, and I will see you all next week.